The Uber Greyball system is still embedded in the app right now, and the Department of Justice can't stop it. When a city regulator opened Uber in Portland, Oregon, they saw cars on their screen. Ghost cars, fake positions, a fabricated city. The system already knew who they were, and it's still running. Uber launched in cities before those cities said yes. That was the strategy. Move fast, build the user base, make yourself too big to ban. They called it regulatory arbitrage, a polite term for operating illegally and daring the government to stop you. In Portland, Uber went live in December 2014 without a license. City officials immediately tried to investigate. They opened the app like any other passenger. They requested rides. They watched the map. What they saw looked completely normal, but nothing they were seeing was real. The app had already identified them. And it was showing them a version of Portland that didn't exist. That version of Portland was Greyball, a tool built inside Uber's core codebase, not bolted on afterward, built in. When the system flagged you as a threat, it wrapped you in a fake interface. The cars on your screen were real Uber vehicles, but their positions were falsified. The pins moved like normal. ETAs populated. When you tapped to book, drivers were quietly instructed not to accept. Sometimes a car would appear to drive toward you, then vanish. Again and again. The regulator's phone kept showing a live, functioning Uber city. The app worked perfectly, except none of it was real. Greyball cross-referenced your credit card against government-issued card databases. It tracked whether you had downloaded the app near City Hall. It scanned social media for profiles linked to regulatory agencies. It knew who you were before you pressed a single button. And it showed you exactly what you needed to see to give up and go home. And it's still running. Portland's government eventually figured out something was wrong. Officers couldn't get rides. The New York Times exposed the program in March 2017. The Department of Justice opened a criminal investigation. The FTC started asking questions. Uber said it would stop using Greyball for regulatory evasion. They called it a misuse of the tool, designed originally for something else. Blocking fraud, protecting drivers from passengers with a history of assault. A company spokesperson said it plainly. The conduct was under internal review and would be addressed. That was 2017, 9 years ago. The DOJ investigation closed with no charges filed, no executive prosecuted, no fine large enough to matter, and the architecture that built Greyball never went away. Here is what nobody fully reported at the time. Greyball was not a rogue tool created by one team in one city. It was a formal internal program with its own codebase, its own budget, its own maintenance team. The official name inside Uber was VTOS, Violation of Terms of Service. Greyball was one function inside it. The legal structure protecting it was deliberate. Uber argued in every jurisdiction that the tool served legitimate purposes, blocking competitors from scraping driver data, banning users who had violated platform rules, shielding drivers from known bad actors. Because those use cases were real, the regulatory evasion function survived inside the same architecture. You cannot ban the tool without banning the legitimate uses it also performs. That is not an accident. That is the design. Every major platform now runs a variant of this, a behavioral fingerprinting layer that serves two masters simultaneously. Protect the platform, deceive the regulator, same code, same telemetry handshake, same persistent identifier on your device. And here is the part that should stop you cold. The FTC knew this architecture existed before the Times published. They had been briefed. The ghost cars were never the point. The ghost cars were the proof of concept, and it's still running. Your phone is running apps right now that know more about your identity than you have voluntarily shared. Not your name, your pattern, where you open the app, what network you are on, what other apps are active alongside it, whether your billing address traces back to a government zip code. Greyball did not need your name to flag you. It needed your behavior signature. That technology is not theoretical. It is the same infrastructure that now runs ad targeting, fraud detection, and increasingly compliance management for platforms operating in legally contested space. Every time a city tries to regulate a platform, The platform holds a data advantage that City will never close. Regulators see the ghost map. You, as a user, never know which version you are looking at, and the system carries no legal obligation to tell you which one is real. So here is what the Department of Justice never asked loudly enough to get an answer. If Greyball could identify city regulators in 2014 using credit card data and geofencing near government buildings, what can the current version identify? And who else is running a version of it right now, in the apps already open on your phone, in cities that haven't caught them yet?